Hello everyone and welcome to the UTry lab, and this is going to be the Microsoft MakeCode session. So this will be a lot shorter than the follow-along lab. The follow-along lab was to tie in. Of course, you want to do it and go through and make sure that you can run that Python program for n-body simulation, and definitely play around with the parameters. But the idea behind the follow-along lab is to help solidify the concepts within the lecture to that of an interactive lab. In this particular case, we're going to do Microsoft MakeCode. We're going to create, let's go ahead and type in Microsoft MakeCode code. And go ahead and go to Microsoft MakeCode. And this will be a lot shorter. What I want you to do in Microsoft MakeCode, there's nothing you have to download. This is all online. And again, I will preface this that Microsoft MakeCode, it's a beast, and it's not just for kids. I mean, there's a lot of adults that build a lot of big things. I mean, I use Microsoft MakeCode at the undergraduate level. Of course, it's got its pros and cons. It's perfect for us to teach additional concepts in modeling and simulation because Microsoft MakeCode is so arcade focused. But if you want to learn more, there's a lot more that's available. I teach Microsoft MakeCode from a microbit perspective, so that from microcontrollers and our machine learning, and especially with an emphasis on operationalization of an autonomous system in a physical structure, i.e. a microcontroller, in this case a microbit. So if you're interested in learning more about that, definitely hit me up. I can certainly steer you in the right direction. There's some neat kits online, microbit kits. We call them cybernetic project kits in our MLAS 100/200 course. But in our 200 course, we do a full cybernetics build out. We build all kinds of stuff, wearables, all kinds of neat stuff in the 200 class. But if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that, I highly recommend that you reach out to me, and I can get you going. Okay, so that's a quick plug on Microsoft MakeCode as it relates to the microbit. But what we're going to do for this is we're going to jump into the arcade. So in the arcade, I want you to scroll down and head down to game design concepts. So under game design concepts, we did the walking hero last time, right? We created a sprite, which is a simple model, basic, and then we made that sprite, that model, move around a blank universe. We're going to do something similar. It's going to be a little bit more complicated. That walking hero was like done in like 4 or 5 steps. It was pretty short. What we're going to do is I want you to come over to Starfield and create a Starry Night for the next hit space game, right? So all this is going to do is going to create star motion. So again, this is a particle simulator, but it's a very different kind of particle simulator than what the n-body simulation that we had followed along with on our follow-along lab. So what I want you to do for this Starfield generator is I want you to hit Start Tutorial. And this is what your output's going to look like. It's just going to be this. You're going to have this Starfield generation. It's a point particle simulation, and it's a different kind of simulation, but it has many similar characteristics. In other words, I have a point particle that's a model, and then I'm also creating a simulation, so it's that particle moving over time. But you'll notice some distinct differences here in terms of our particle simulation here versus our particle simulation in the follow-along. Okay, so go ahead and click OK, and you're going to be given this, and you're going to see these step 2 of 11. And so it's probably going to take you about 10 minutes to walk through this and get it going. I am not going to go through, and I'm just going to high level give you where things are at. So on the left, this is your tutorial. So you're going to want to skip. You want to run through these steps, just like last time. Oops. Just hit OK. So after that, we finished step 1, which is getting here. Step 2 is in the game toolbox drawer, get on game update. And then you'll drag it into the workspace. So it's going to say on game update, and then you're gonna. I'll go as far as getting you squared away with this. That's what they're talking about. So follow along here, and then this is where your menu options are to drag the blocks in. And then once you're done, you could actually download this to some a specific type of hardware. There's Microbit or Meowbit rather, BrainPad Arcade. These are fun. They're pretty quick. They're like $30. They're pretty cheap. You can see here Adafruit Pi Badge. This is a fun one. This is another small one. Adafruit Pi Gamer. So there's a lot of different. If you wanna trick it out, here's a arcade cabinet. If you want to make something a bit bigger, right? Which is kind of fun. That's kind of on the Raspberry Pi side. But these are all pretty small. So these Adafruit Pi Badges and the Pi Gamer, I really like these little ones because they're pretty cheap and definitely fun to work with, and they won't break the bank. So if you want to go that route, you can, and that's an excellent way to solidify some things. If you want to go that route, totally optional. You don't have to do that. Because when you simulate, remember, like our hero game that we had done last week, you can simulate that here. You can make it big screen, and then boom, you've got a virtual simulator. You don't have to go out and buy the hardware. But if you're so inclined, you can run out and buy the hardware. I highly recommend it. And if you wanted to play around with it and to operationalize the code that you're building, there's a lot of different options. And if you've got kids at home, they get a kick out of this stuff. So, okay. With that, I'm going to head back over to the arcade. Oh, back over here. And I think what will happen is it's going to save for you in your projects, even though you haven't created an account. Feel free to create an account. It's free. And then you can save all your Microsoft MakeCode projects. But, okay. So this is that. Run through this. I want everyone to get through to completion. Make sure you get to the end because it might have an impact on. You might have to end up doing it anyway if you don't get to the end because it'll be in a quiz. So make sure that you run through these, and I believe that's all I have for your follow along lab. If you run into any issues and have any questions, again, we're here to help. Feel free to reach out via text message or email. Email always works great, and we can set up a time to run through this. Okay, have fun, and I will see you in the next week's learning activities. Take care. Talk to you soon.